Thank you. Well, we're doing well. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Long time no see. You know, it's really strange being here. It's like a dream. Any minute I'm going to wake up and be in the middle of the ocean. You know, which happened over and over and over and over again. So, yeah. And the funny thing is, the longer you're out to sea, the less you dream of land, and eventually all you do is dream of the sea. So it takes some time to get used to it again. But I'm okay. You know, I'm on land.
Well, I hope you realize the governor worked very hard to have absolutely perfect weather, nice southerly breeze for you to come in. Good job. So, how does it feel to be on land? Are you rocking a little bit?
No, you know, it's fine. I'm a very lucky guy when it comes to seasickness and motion sickness, and I can deal with it all. So I have no problems with nothing. Although, I don't know, maybe later. Maybe after a few beers I'll be rocking.
Well, I'm sure you'll do that. Hey, what was the fastest speed you attained on your 27-foot Vega?
Well, I believe it was 164 miles over 24 hours, which is, I think, around 8 knots or so, roughly. Over the 24-hour period. But I had the Guiana stream off French Guiana pushing me along. You can't do that on a Vega without destroying it, so yes.
Did you see any pirates along the way?
Every time I looked in the mirror.
This is going to be good. All right. You would think after 309 days you wouldn't have anything to say. So how was it going around Cape Horn?
Cape Horn is beautiful, by the way. There is a particular time, and if you can get there within the first 2 weeks of January, you have the most likely chance of not being hit by a crazy storm. Although I had many storms before and after, the day that I went around the Horn was a beautiful day, with rainbows and everything you can imagine. Yes.
That's a lucky day too, just like today. Did you get to talk to many people on the radio when you were out at sea?
I tried to talk to freighters, but never talked back. So, not really. No, boy, my VHF died, and so yeah. Once in a while, I could use a sat phone, but sat phone minutes are incredibly expensive. So, you know, all the communications I had were all business related. You know, something about wind or boat or something breaking. So you don't often say, "Hey, how's the weather? What's up with this sports team?" and go Cleveland Browns and all that other stuff.
Cleveland who?
I live here now, but I was born in Ohio, all right?
I think they made a trek here one time. Yeah. So, when you made the trip, were you aware of some of the people who have done this before you? Joshua Slocum, Sir Francis Chichester, Robin Knox Johnson, for example?
Yeah, you know, Knox Johnson got a hold of me not long ago, actually, which was really nice of him. The first guy he won the first round-the-world nonstop race. You know, of course, you spend time in the earlier days of sailing reading about Motissier and reading about Slocum and reading about these guys. But then you sail so much, you don't want to read about sailing anymore. You know, you just want to read about, like, the desert or climbing a mountain. You're in the ocean too often. But yeah, all those guys are great. And I don't know, you know, those are awfully big shoes to fill, but I'll keep sailing, so let's see what happens.
So your next trip going to be the Serengeti?
Yeah, I'm going to sail the Serengeti. There we go.
On a land yacht. Matt, I've heard from single-handed sailors, they get out there in the ocean and actually have an imaginary boat that they're racing against. Did you have another boat you were racing against?
Oh, no, I would have lost. I was going really slow. Yeah.
At the doldrums, what was your slowest day run?
Backwards 60 miles.
That would be a bummer. And the food, we talked about the food. Let's tell us a little bit about that. 800 pounds, 309 days, how was the food?
Well, Self-Reliance is freeze-dried food, and you get raw, there's Mr. Self-Reliance, you get raw ingredients here and there, so you get corn, you get beef, and you just put it all together, and I mostly ate soups and stews every day because it's easy to do, but it's good, it's high-quality food, but it's not fresh food, but you can live off of it with a smile on your face.
We see you have a smile on your face. Look at him. All right, so you've completed this circumnavigation of the Americas, very strong feet, cheering for you all the way. My big question, what's next?
I need to get a haircut. You guys see this going on? And a beard. Oh, well, I'd like to go back up to the Arctic and do another trip through, there's kind of one chapter that is yet to be written in the Northwest Passage. And so I'd like to complete that passage. But it's all about fundraising, of course, and it's you know, to get the money, to get the boat, to get the supplies, to get this, and get that. It's, you know, but yeah, that's the idea, to head back up there. Shoot a documentary, too. So, there you go.
So I mentioned Senator Harkin a little bit earlier. I love modern technology here on the iPad. Here's Senator Harkin live. Yeah. Tommy says, okay.
You actually know how to stand on land.
Yeah, I'm working on it. If I keep swaying, it just kind of stays in the same place.
Yeah, I was watching you come in there on your foot a little while ago. I'm sorry, I haven't got here in Des Moines, but you look good. Listen, save a beer for me anyway, will you?
Yeah, sure thing. Well, we'll go out on St. Brendan when you get a chance here.
Say what?
We'll go sailing out on St. Brendan.
Hey, you told me St. Brendan would be the thrill of my life. I'll tell you what, I look forward to it. God, you look great, man. After all that.
All right, Tom, well, you bring the beer and I'll raise the sails.
All right, I'll bring a steak and beer.
All right.
All righty, thank you very much. That was very cool. Modern technology. Any racing in your future?
I do some racing out here once in a while, mostly with little Cal 25s because it's not very serious. I like to, yeah, I'm not very into going as fast. It's, I'm just trying to get to A to B without breaking anything.
Well, how about this? How about on Wednesday night we crank up your boat and I'll come help you and we'll see what we do.
Hey, let's go for it. I think we can take them all, man. I'm confident. Okay, let's see, blah, blah, blah. All right, well, first off, of course, there is a lot of risk in something like this. People might think, oh, you know, what is he doing is crazy. But no matter what you're doing in life, you know, reward lives in the house of risk. If you're not willing to risk, you're not going to accomplish. Everything takes hard work and sacrifice. It can be very difficult, of course, being out in the ocean alone day after day, but if you get yourself in the right mindset, it's not so bad. You just, this is where I'm at, this is what's going on. I'm going to have a wet sleeping bag tonight and soup. Well, it's a good soup. But, and, you know, and that's it. So you don't, I guess you shut off parts of your brain like a horse with blinders, but nevertheless, you know, you have to work hard to accomplish anything in life. I would, of course, like to thank all my sponsors. I know if I try to say them all by name, I'm going to miss some. So I'm just going to say I would like to thank all my sponsors who believed in me before I left this dock, trying to go around to different places and call different businesses and tell them what I was trying to do and the expressions I get from their face. You know, I'm trying to do it on this little 27-foot boat. I'm going to go up to Northwest Passage and, you know, around Cape Horn. And so, yeah, you know, I almost surprise me sometimes when they want to give me sponsorship. But you know, I really appreciate it because without them, I wouldn't have got the gear necessary. And of course, without Don backing and Crab, Don was the first guy. I was working on a boat doing a bottom job for one of Crab's boats, and I see a little. At the time, I was going to take a 25-footer, not the 27. This is the big boat. But I say, hey, Don, why don't you let me take this boat up to the Arctic and we'll raise some money? And then, you know, I thought he would kind of laugh at it, you know, and he said, yeah, okay, sounds great. So yes, he really, actually, truly believed in me since the very first day. And without Don's initial support and continued support, you know, this would never have happened. And that's, you know, I am more than happy to help raise money for Crab. I think it's a great organization involved with the sailing and a good nonprofit. And it's, you know, my passions are nonprofit work and sailing, so it just kind of goes together for me nice and easily. We are, I believe, I heard that we're somewhere around 80,000. Now, the expenses of the trip are about 8,000, so I guess that makes us around 72,000. But once we get this match, we're about halfway to our goal. I believe that we're gonna, you know, get a match of 21,000 from Godspeed and the Doug Kinney scenario. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to raise anything, and I think we're gonna be able to convert that boat. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, donate money to Crab.
On live TV. Alrighty, well, Matt, just to conclude here, we were looking at your boat coming in, and there's some really good boat yards here in Annapolis, and maybe the bottom looks like it could use a little bit of a cleanup. Alright, and there are also a few bars around that serve really cold beer, so I hope you'll partake on that. Anyway, congratulations. What a hero. We look forward to the book, the movie, and great success. Congratulations.